For nearly 2,000 years, this cat had no breed name, no pedigree, no carefully planned lineage. It simply existed, quietly woven into the streets and homes of Britain. The British Shorthair is often described as one of the oldest identifiable cat breeds in the world, but its story is less about creation and more about survival, collapse, and reconstruction. Because the cat we recognize today is not entirely the cat that once was. Part 1. Origins. No one knows exactly when cats first arrived in Britain. The most enduring theory is that they came with the Romans. Practical animals carried across the empire to protect grain stores and control vermin. Yet archaeological evidence hints that cats may have reached these islands even before the legions did. What seems certain is that over centuries, imported cats interbred with local European wildcats, slowly adapting to a colder, harsher climate. They became sturdy, thick-coated, resilient. Not a breed, but a population. Working cats, long before anyone thought to exhibit them. Part 2. The invention of breeds. In the late 1800s, a new idea emerged: that cats could be categorized, standardized, judged. Harrison Weir, often called the father of the cat fancy, organized the first official cat show at London's Crystal Palace in 1871. Among the stars of the exhibition, the solid, dignified British street cat. Almost overnight, a familiar animal gained a new identity: the British Shorthair. Part 3. The first collapse. But recognition did not guarantee stability. By the early 1900s, the newly fashionable Persian had begun to eclipse the British Shorthair. Its long, dramatic coat capturing the attention the familiar street cat no longer did. And then came the First World War. Breeding programs stopped almost overnight. Catteries closed. Animals were lost. By the war's end, the situation was stark. Pure British Shorthair stock had become so rare that breeders faced an uncomfortable choice: outcross or watch the breed disappear entirely. They chose to outcross. Persians, Russian Blues, Burmese, Chartreux, foreign blood, introduced to save something British. It worked, but only just, and only for a while. Part 4. The second collapse. The breed was still fragile when the Second World War arrived. What little had been rebuilt was put at risk again. By 1945, British Shorthair lines were, for the second time, on the edge of disappearing. Breeders returned to the same solution: more outcrossing, more Persian. But this time, the changes were no longer subtle. The faces grew rounder, the features softer. Longer-coated kittens began appearing in litters, eventually becoming a separate breed entirely: the British Longhair. The cat that emerged from the wreckage of two wars was not quite the cat that had entered them. And yet, through all of it, one quality endured: its expression. That broad, calm, faintly knowing expression that had captured imaginations long before the wars, long before the registries, long before anyone thought to preserve it. Some believe it captured one imagination in particular. Part 5. The cultural shadow. Lewis Carroll never confirmed the inspiration for his Cheshire Cat. He left no note, no explanation. But the British Shorthair's face, broad, calm, faintly amused, makes the theory feel less like speculation and more like recognition. A creature known for its round face, enigmatic expression, and slow, knowing smile. A literary ghost, perhaps, of a very real cat that Victorian Britain knew intimately. The British Shorthair is often seen as a symbol of stability: calm, solid, seemingly unchanging. Yet its history tells a different story: of uncertain origins, of a population shaped by centuries of cold and hardship, of near disappearance, not once but twice, and of human hands rebuilding what had almost been lost. The cat that looks like it has always been here very nearly wasn't. The British Shorthair may look timeless, yet its history is one of survival, change, and quiet reconstruction. A cat that very nearly wasn't. Reshaped by war, by loss, and by human hands trying to preserve what was fading. Does knowing that change how you see the breed? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.